This is a brand new product launched by NUX. It's the MP-3, which stands for the Mighty Plug Pro 3. And it really caught me off guard because I started using this little device and I can't put it down. The Mighty Plug 3 is a little portable interface that you can plug into your guitar, and you can basically play your guitar anywhere, uninterrupted, with headphones. And it allows you to do a lot more than just play your guitar. It has built-in sounds that you can edit and save. It has a bunch of effects, cabinets, even allows you to load your own IRs into this little thing, save your patches and recall them and play them. It can actually even replace your DAW. This little device just encourages me to pick up the guitar and play even more. So of course the device is designed in such a way that you can use it with pretty much any guitar configuration, be it a Telecaster, a Les Paul, or even a Frankenstrat. It plugs right in and you can actually, you know, bend it the way you want. It's out of the way, it's inconspicuous, doesn't take a lot of real estate. There's no real danger that you're gonna bump into it, and it works really, really well. The unit comes with a couple of buttons on the side, basically a power button, a volume up and down button. If you hit the power button, it lights up. You can see the front little circle here light up. This little button allows you to switch through your patches. The patches are indicated by the little colored lights, so you can see which patch you're on. And you can save those patches, edit them, and recall them. If you don't have headphones with a plug, you can actually even stream via Bluetooth onto your headphones. There's a USB-C connection here that acts both as a charge cable and also allows you to go into your computer. And the sounds are what really blew me away with this little unit, because I wasn't expecting them to sound this good. Now, this is not the first rendition of this product, so there have been other previous versions of this, but guys, I've reviewed those. They were good at the time, but this one is really leaps and bounds better in my opinion. More flexibility, better sounds, even the look is nicer. If you're using this on the go, you don't necessarily have to have your laptop around to be able to interface with the controls that allow you to edit all the sounds on it. You can do it straight from your phone, and everybody's got a phone on them. So if I'm traveling, I'm going to a hotel room, and I want to edit something on this, I just pull up the app, and it allows me to configure all the sounds, save them to the device, and I'm good to go. Now, if I do have a laptop next to me or close by, all I need to do is take this little guy, plug it in with the USB connection, and you can pull up the software that will allow you to go into all of the patches and edit everything as much as you want. And that was one of the aspects that really blew me away, is the fact that you can actually go quite deep with the editing on this, even to the point of changing the order of your patches or your effects. So you can actually drag and drop your effects if you don't want to have, say, your chorus pedal last in the chain and you want to put it towards the middle. You can just take it, grab it, and put it there. Let's jump into the editor. You can see that the editor is pretty easy and straightforward to understand. You have all your presets here at the top, and as you can see, they're color-coded. These colors also match the light on the unit, so you're able to actually save 7 predefined patches within the editor here. The first one of which is a very straightforward patch, which is basically a deluxe reverb. Sounds really nice, sounds like a deluxe reverb to me. You can edit any of these patches simply by turning them on or off and indicating what you want to have in the patch. In this particular one, I have a gate enabled here. This is a noise gate, a compressor. We have the amp, an IR, which is also a deluxe reverb IR, and the actual reverb, which is set to room. I also like to play around with that and just experiment. And if we go to shimmer, just to see what that sounds like. It definitely gives you that top end that you can play around with as well. If you want to just go into a spring type reverb. Sounds pretty nice. The decay is quite low right now. If you want to put the decay up higher. Nice sounding, I gotta say, for a very inexpensive unit here. Let's jump to the next preset. By the way, the bottom here you'll see that we do have the IR, I guess, pattern in terms of the frequency. You can play around with this with the levels, low cut or high cut. We're not going to go into that because it's going to make the video very long. I just want to show you some of the initial patches and sounds that I have loaded in here right now. But just suffice it to say that you do have the flexibility to play around with the frequencies as well, which I find quite nice to have. The second patch here is the Friedman Hairy Brown Eye, one of my favorite type of amps. It's going to give you a lot more hair. So this sound is definitely more chewy. You have more gain on it. The type of reverb on this is nice in the sense that it's a hall. So you can hear as it decays very nicely. I always like to put in a noise gate here because when you're playing with higher gain sounds, if your noise gate is turned off, you're gonna notice. Let me just turn it off here so you can hear what it sounds like without it on. So you can definitely hear the noise from my, from my guitar. And when I turn it on, things get really quiet. So definitely a nice working noise gate. And I try and keep the sensitivity on the noise gate down so I don't overshoot it or overkill it, but you want to adjust it to the type of guitar and pickups that you're using. So let's go into the next patch here. This one is the Brit 800, which is basically modeled after a Marshall JCM 800. Nice and fat. You can definitely hear the beefiness of this sound. I like to play around with a couple of different things, but for the time being I have my amp set to Brit 800. The IR for this one is also set this one is set for an M1960 AV. You can use different types of cabinets, and I'll just select a different one. I'll just choose the JB 412. You can hear the difference it makes. Definitely more lively. I'll choose a different one here just for fun. I'll use the high wire, which I guess is a high watt. So you can see just how dynamic those IRs really are. Definitely you can play around with the EQ. I'm not really playing with the EQ for right now. We'll go to the next one here. Just jump right into the next one. I'm going relatively quickly here because I want to cover as much ground as I can in a short amount of time. This is a dual rectifier. And we're playing with a ping pong delay. I'm not sure you're going to be able to hear that because I think the output of QuickTime is not necessarily stereo. But you just can see the quality of some of the effects. So if we go into the type of delays that we have here, we have pan delay, tape echo, modulation, digital and analog. I really like tape echo. Let's hear what that has to sound like. And you can really hear how far the repeats go on that. If we try a Sounds pretty good. I like it. All right, let's go to the next setting here. And the cool thing is if you change patches, it just, it doesn't cut off. It continues. You can still hear the delay basically fading out. The next patch here, we have a slow 100, which is basically a soldano. Definitely sounds nice and beefy. I definitely like to have a reverb and delay on that so I can make it sound even bigger. You can definitely add other effects to it, but in this particular case, I don't think it really needs it. Let's go to the next patch. We have a super reverb. So the super reverb is going to be more clean. So it's kind of dry in this particular instance. I have a reverb here, but I'm going to change it to maybe a plate reverb instead. And hear what that sounds like. I'm going to increase the delay, the decay on it. So definitely like to have that. You can definitely hear that the sound is being influenced by the tube screamer that we have in here. And you can see the tube screamer is only one of a bunch of really good sounding delay drive pedals. You have, let's try the blues driver. Nice. Let's try something a little different here. Let's try a red dirt pedal. A little bit more transparent. Let's try some fuzz. Definitely a convincing fuzz, if you ask me. Let's go to the last setting here in the patch, the series of patches, and this is going to be a stage man, right? So I think we know what the stage man represents. It's actually an acoustic simulation. And I believe the IR that I have loaded up here is stands for a Barton D45. Very nice sounding patch. I like the fact that I can load modulation sounds, delay sounds, reverb sounds. If we look at the modulation here, I have a chorus pedal. We can go stereo chorus as well. We can also try what the flanger sounds like on an acoustic. Let's hear that. I really like the creativity that you can do with this, because you don't usually think about adding flangers to acoustic guitars and whatnot, but you can definitely do it here. Nothing's stopping you. Let's try a tremolo just for fun. Let's get crazy with it and see how fast we can actually go with the rate. And if we want to look at the depth, let's really go deep with it. Pretty sweet. I love playing around with this stuff. I can play around with this stuff all day long. The Univibe. Everybody loves the Univibe, I would say. Let's play with the mode here. You get those washy sounds. Beautiful washy sounds with the Univibe. So far, I think that all these sounds are really convincing. I haven't found one that I don't really like so far. Now, of course, you can play and tweak till the cows come home. You have so many choices when it comes to amps and you know, whatnot. If we want to try just for fun, we'll put up, let's try, I don't know, what haven't we tried so far? Plexi 45 or a Cali Crunch? I think the Cali Crunch is more like a Mesa amp. Let's bring up the gain on it a little bit. That might be a little bit too loud. But if we bring down the gain, like so, just a little bit louder, and maybe put a pedal in front of it and see what happens. Let's put in, heck, let's go with the Distortion Plus, the good old vintage, the old vintage Distortion Plus. Let's try with it. All right, let's go into, what can we play here? Let's go with the, the EAT distortion. Now, of course, if the patch level is too low, you can increase it here. You also have the option here to save your patches. You can actually export your patches as well, download them so you don't lose anything. If you worked very hard, you want to make sure that your patches are saved. There's other options here as well. You can go into MIDI settings and routing and all kinds of interesting things. That really goes beyond the scope of this really quick demo, but I just want you to know that it's there. So the sounds that you heard were going right into my computer and were recorded directly into QuickTime. So it's not necessarily the best quality in terms of how you can record sounds. Obviously, if you go into something like GarageBand, Pro Tools, Logic or something like that, you're going to get better results in terms of sound. But I just wanted to give you a down and dirty example of what you can do with the editor. If you own version 2, I highly recommend you check out version 3. The Pro version is really quite different and, in my opinion, well worth the upgrade if you're interested in dropping some cash. The unit is not very expensive, and honestly, guys, for the amount of flexibility and sounds that you're getting with this little unit, it's well worth the price they're asking for. I honestly feel this little device is like the Swiss Army knife for anyone who's looking to be able to practice, be able to record, be able to put ideas down. It's a great all-around little device. You could even Bluetooth stream the sound from this device to a Bluetooth speaker. So if you happen to not even have an amplifier around, that's not going to stop you. You can stream directly to a Bluetooth speaker and play your guitar right through that, or your Bluetooth headphones, as I mentioned before, or wired headphones. So really you're covered no matter what. Now, I don't usually get too excited about these little products, but I'm going to tell you that this little device is really on the top of my list. If you have a guitarist in your life or a bass player in your life that you want to buy a really cool present for, put this one on your list because they won't be disappointed. I'm telling you, money well spent, and I don't usually say that about too many products. So check it out, the Mighty Plug Pro 3 from NUX. I'll put the link in the description below. You can grab one while they're still around before they sell out, because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to want to grab one of these. That's it for now, guys. Give me your comments below if you enjoyed this video review and you appreciate what we're putting out. Please consider subscribing. You'll help our channel, and ultimately we'll be able to create even more content for you. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. There'll be more stuff coming your way right here on Addicted to Gear.